welcome to the practice ice session for the rhythm dance and Group 1. The following teams are on the ice for a 5-minute warm-up, after which program music will be played once for each team in the following order. Number 1, Samantha Ritter and Daniel Rinkalov, Azerbaijan. Number 2, Junfei Ren and Yang Xing, People's Republic of China.
And good morning here at the Rinkside practice cam. Special guest with me here. Very, very, very special guest, Caitlin Hawaii. Oh my gosh, this is so cool to be doing this together. Thank you for being here with me. Enjoying the cold early morning practices yet again together.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here and watch some fantastic skating today.
Yes, it's going to be great. I think what's going to be super important is just like getting that energy rolling for the morning. It's 7 a.m., which isn't like terrible for ice dance, I will say. I mean, from personal experience, I didn't love the early mornings. I went mute most of the time.
Does anyone ever really love the early mornings?
Oh my gosh. Actually, it's a great Patch does. Patrice really likes early mornings,
That's
I think.
True.
But enough about that. What do you think we should be looking for out here? I mean, like in terms of getting yourself prepped for that rhythm dance later today. Are you looking more for like energy management? Are you looking more for turns? Like, what would you like to feel on these practices? Because I know what I would like to feel with you, but like individually, what would you like?
Yeah, especially for that pre-competition warm-up, I always love to feel this sense of calmness, having that taking your space in the arena, finding your spots, whether it's visually or energetically, and just really taking your space, taking that 25-30 minute warm-up to collect all of your energy and emotions, and then from there taking that energy and really projecting it out.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I used to love these practices, especially the day of the rhythm dance. I'm not gonna lie. The free dance one, you can attest for. I'd be pretty terrified. But the rhythm dance day was like so much fun. I think what's so interesting about this arena, and I've been talking about it all week, is one, the windows and the whole thing. No fans are allowed, which is super interesting. And as you know, again, like I just talk about stories the whole time, pretty much. When we're not watching some unreal skating, I talk about some nice, fun stories that we had, and like how I would always talk to the fans in the audience.
Oh, yes.
You remember when they gave me like the Cool Ranch Doritos that one time?
Yeah, I think that was Skate Canada.
Yeah.
And you took the Doritos into the Kiss and Cry.
Yep, that's it. So, I think that like in this arena, it's so interesting because it's very, very intimate and just personal for the skaters to get themselves warmed up and ready for the day. If you guys have any questions for us, you can send them to us on Twitter, on X. It's at Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hawaii. Please, by all means, send them our way. We're going to do our best to answer these things for you. Yes, I have had breakfast, for those of you wondering. It is in front of me, and I will be doing my best not to eat it loudly. But with that being said, let's watch some ice dance.
Competitors, there is 1 minute remaining in this warm-up.
Now, how fast did those 5 minutes go by when we were doing this thing?
5 minutes goes by way faster than you think, especially, and I mean, this group, we only have 4 skaters on the ice, but if in those groups with 5 teams, it always felt like a race to the finish to try to get everything in. We would always try to warm up very quickly, start our 5-minute warm-up, getting the ball rolling, so that way when we started doing our elements, we were almost a little ahead of everyone, just so we could fit everything in.
Yeah, I mean, talk about strategy on that. I know we were like really forward thinking. At least I like to think so. In that way, that we would get on the ice, do like about half a lap alone, and then get right into an element. Where most teams take about a minute or two to skate alone, get together, do some stroking exercises. for us, we really wanted to make sure that we found like these, we called them like windows, like the windows of opportunity, really just kind of seeing, as you sometimes see, especially in an ice dance practice, how close some of these teams get. It's like a full game of chicken. Luckily, there is only 4 teams out here, but there are some tall teams, so it might feel like 5. Speaking of tall teams, right here, we have the Samantha and Daniel from Azerbaijan.
So this year, the theme being 50s, 60s, and 70s social dancing.
We're going to see a lot of different styles of dance, quite a few similar pieces of music used, though. Oh, she's from Buffalo. What's up, girl?
Oh, fellow Buffalonian.
That's right. And I think you're going to see a lot of teams starting out this rhythm dance with a twizzle set. Really just kind of trying to get themselves in that technical spot. I mean, qualifying for this rhythm dance is going to be, this free dance, excuse me, is going to be really hard. We have 36 dance teams, and 20 of them will be qualifying for the free dance. So we're going to be losing 16 teams.
Yep, you did the math right.
Thanks. You saw me just totally question my eternity there, like everything. Everything was going through my mind.
Yeah, it's going to be a very intense competition today. You know, all those tiny little details technically and artistically are going to count. So it's a tight race to the finish.
It really is. And speaking of like tight race, I think that like really it's going to be really interesting just to see that qualifying score. I mean, obviously I'm not a judge and I can't predict the future, but Caitlin and I were talking earlier, and I think we both can agree that to really solidify your spot for that free dance, we're looking at something around a 70 or higher. Now, there might be a point or two fluctuation down in the 69, maybe 68, depending on how the other skaters skate. But we have a very, very large amount of skaters that are all in the same kind of pocket, fighting for those spots for the free. So these technical cues are going to be so, so crucial.
And right now you're seeing Samantha and Daniel do their partial step sequence, which combines the beginning and ending of the Paso Doble this year. I really enjoyed how they entered this partial step. It had a nice flow, as well as it was a bit unexpected. So
yeah, I liked it. And there's a couple requirements too within that partial step, which is super cool. I mean, we're looking at having, there's an outside mohawk to start after that slip step change edge of the Paso Doble. There's an outside mohawk, which can be done by either partner. And then there's also a requirement for a back rocker, whether that's a back outside or a back inside rocker. So those are the 2 requirements of turns, and then most of the time you're going to see the rest of the teams do most likely a back inside counter and a forward inside bracket. And they're pretty much going to be, for the most part, all in the same spot. It's rare that you see a team in ice dance particularly not wear costumes, especially the morning of the competition itself. Now, this team have been wearing their costumes all week on all their practices, but it's just interesting to see like not choosing not to wear them this morning.
them. It was tough on those hard training days, but it was a really fun style to perform and get the crowd going with you.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think it's going to be so cool. Just seeing the crowd this week here in Boston has been like just one of the best crowds, like in terms of just enthusiasm that they're bringing to the table and just like their openness and willingness to cheer along. And I think what's so cool about this rhythm dance and these rhythm dances that people will be watching today is that there's so much opportunity to go crazy as an audience member, and like how much that fuels you as a skater. I know that was something that really fueled both you and I. Like when we could hear those, it was hard not to like kind of lean into it a little bit, and sometimes those clapping would get real loud, so we couldn't get carried away with it. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting. Chinese team here are opting out to do a lot of elements here. They're missing quite a few things, but again, everyone has an individual strategy. You see some teams do almost full run-throughs minus maybe one element. I know that we did not like doing that. We were like, let's save those legs. And we wanted to save that kind of energy for our performance, but maybe that team is leaning towards that same kind of strategy here.
Nice lift to finish the program. Great speed of rotation throughout that lift.
Mm-hmm. 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Skating down, Katerina Delta and Agalin representing Turkey.
Another team choosing not to wear costumes. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's no judges here this morning. Rightfully so. It's 7 a.m. and they have a lot of rhythm dances to watch later today. Some hard transitions.
Now we're seeing this team take a different approach to the rhythm dance music, going more for an older style versus that 70s disco era like the last few teams. And I think it's going to be refreshing to see little moments like that in the rhythm dance today where it's not disco for 4 hours straight.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be a lot of finger pointing. Actually, speaking of finger pointing, I think you're going to see a lot of that today. And I'm like quite partial to it in a way that I want to make sure that
I find that I think they have some really intricate transitions. What I'd love to see them work on is just having a little bit more presence and posture with their skating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. And for me, a little bit more of a connection together. I feel as though like what I'm seeing is performance, outward performance, but not much really happening together, especially facially. I don't feel like much is going on there. But at the same time, I can imagine with it being 7:15 in the morning, they're really kind of maybe getting themselves set up more for a technical kind of setup for the day rather than just a performance setup. I do believe you need all of it, but everyone has their own strategy.
Music time, 3 minutes. Skating now, Chelsea Verheyen and Shereen Van Geffen, representing the Netherlands.
Elements. You have your twizzle set, you have a lift, you have your midline step, you have your partial step sequence with the influence starting with the paso doble and ending with it, and also your choreo step. Now, I was a huge fan of choreo steps. What was your favorite element in the rhythm dance?
Probably, I would say choreo step or midline step.
Midline is so fun.
Yeah, because it gave you the most opportunity to perform and infuse character within the elements itself.
I did love a midline step. They're so fun. I mean, choreo step was so cool. I almost got a little, oh, that is cool.
Very nice entrance into that lift.
Yeah. And this is that choreo step that we were talking about. Really trying to embody the social dance style throughout this whole performance, particularly in that choreo step. This is like your last chance. There's no level given to the choreo step, only GOE, so you can make some good money and points. Whoa, see you later, little flippity-doo-dah.
Some very nice moments in that program. They have some cool tricks, and I thought their character was fun.
Yeah, it was quite fun.
7 minutes remaining in this practice session.
Yeah, I think midline step was one of my favorite elements. I loved choreo. and just taking in the environment and really just kind of setting our energy and our intentions for the rest of the day, knowing that we can have a little break still. I mean, I want you to talk a little bit about your like 2-day days as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll get into that in a minute, but just taking moments to just really set your energy and be calm. And you know, sometimes there's huge breaks within your practice and the competition, and these guys actually have a quicker turnaround. I believe the ice dance starts around 11. It's going to be starting at 11:15. So these guys have a couple hours still before they're going to be getting themselves ready. But I think that what's hard is like really kind of compartmentalizing your day. Like, you want to run through what that would look like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the concepts that I was introduced to later on in my career was this idea of a 2-day day, where you basically split your day into two, as it's pretty straightforward as I said it. And say you have a practice in the morning, you wake up, you do your routine, you go to practice, then you close that first day, or technically the first half of your day. And then typically most skaters take a little nap or close their eyes, do some visualization. And then after that, I would re-wake up for the second half of the day, or my second day. And typically I'd have 2 breakfasts in one day and really create this energy of having a second day to restart, reset, bring forward new intentions, and set myself up for success.
Yeah, I mean, that was like one of my favorite things about a 2-day day for me was the nap, because it meant that I got to go back to sleep. I loved that, but I think it really was a huge key to success for us was just being able to compartmentalize those days, because it can be exhausting all day to be just focusing on, oh my gosh, I'm competing the rhythm dance later. Oh my gosh, I'm competing, versus, nah, it's okay. Like, we're just going to go do a practice, and then we're going to go chill, and we're going to go like reset, and then start the day again.
Now we have a new group of skaters on the ice right now. This is our second warm-up group of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, very luxurious to only have 4 skaters on this. You'll start seeing... I mean, talking about like just music in general, like DJ, music genius Caitlin Hawaii right next to me. How important was it for you to have music on these warm-ups that you liked?
Oh, it was so important because it sets the ambiance and the mood for the practice, and it can really make or break you feeling like you can get into your zone, or if you feel like you're kind of skating on the surface. I always found that tapping into the music helped me get into my legs, into my body a bit more, out of my head, and bring that sense of calm that I talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of like staying out of your head, like that is like so hard to do. I was such a thinker as a person. I am actually, not was. I am such a thinker as a person, and trying to just get into that feeling state allowed me to like really feel, one, more connected with you and not think that I was connected with you. But just in general, like I think really it's a fine balance and a sweet spot of like being aware and focused, but also feeling what you're doing, and that's where you're gonna really see that authenticity within some skaters.
Absolutely.
Played beginning with Zoe Larson and Andrew Catherine, representing Ukraine, to be followed by Maria Sofia Kurova, and Nikita Lisa, Slovakia.
So skating first, Zoe and Andre from Ukraine. I'm sure he's very thankful the fact that he has a jacket in this cold rink right now. I'm sorry, senorita. There's like nothing worse than when you do like one element on that day of the competition and you're like slightly winded and you're like, oh, I have 4 more to do still. I used to hate that feeling just because it would not really build the most amount of confidence.
For sure. I think also just energy management, as we talked about earlier, throughout the day, knowing that you do have a 3 or a 4 minute program to do later. And you'd be surprised. 3 minutes and 4 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but when your heart rate is maxed out for that amount of time, those 3 minutes and 4 minutes can feel like an eternity.
Yes, it can feel like an eternity. It's crazy. The 5-minute warm-up goes so fast, and sometimes that 3-minute program does not go as fast. Love that. If I did that, I'd probably have to go see a chiropractor, but yeah.
Lots of change in cuts of music in this program so far. And for me, it actually works just for the style of music. They're all a bit similar to one another, and they mesh well together.
Mm-hmm.
Very charming program.
Fun.
3 minutes, 2 seconds. Skating now, Maria Sofia Kurova and Nikita Lisa, representing Slovakia, to be followed by Angelina Kudryavtseva and Ilya Karankevich.
Skating now from Slovakia, Maria and Nikita. On a rocker, it's okay, but to do 2 counts. The end, a little too far for me though. I wish they were like a little bit closer, about like 4 feet closer, because I felt like I had to watch a little bit, like move my head to see both of them.
Representing Cyprus, to be followed by Mira Brighton and Nikolai.
Next we have Angelina and Ilya from Cyprus.
Hey. Straight away, though, the attacking command that this team brings to their program is a little bit more than what I've seen on this group so far, comparatively speaking. Yeah, it's quite nice. Oh, that was quite clean, that mohawk. I
That
that
was-
was,
I was-
very nice.
Yeah, I was watching this team on the 5-minute warm-up before they started runs, and I really like their edge quality and glide they have in and out of their turns. A young team, I believe, as well. I believe this is one of their first year senior, if I'm correct. So lots of potential.
The mohawk he did it. Oh. Hey, hey. Run it back. Now, obviously, they had a little bit of a disruption to the start of that, and I think there was a moment of him not being sure if they were going to fully do the choreo step or not. I think that's something that's going to help them develop and grow throughout their career and just pursuing next season and whatnot. I think is just going to be really committing to dancing a little bit more. Now that choreo step for me was very placed in terms of all the arms were done, executed, but it was a little bit, like I mentioned, executed. It wasn't really a performance in that choreo step, and all you're getting points for is performing in that choreo step and dancing. Really fun to see when you see freestylers at a high level switch over to ice dance. Nikolai here used to be competing in senior men's, and now he's switched over to ice dance, and honestly, he's doing an excellent job. Oh, he's a dog whisperer too. They have like a fun little energy, but I think they still look young. They look young as a team out here right now, and I think they're still learning how to get their footing together. Although I think they do have some really nice qualities. I like his belt buckle.
You did like a big belt buckle.
I did love a big belt. Oh my god, a big belt a big belt buckle. Why is that a tongue twister at 7:30 in the morning? 7:40, excuse me. Hey.
Ending to that program.
That was cool. I like it. You know, I think they have some really nice qualities. Like I've mentioned before, they're a newer team. They have a lot to learn and a lot to grow into. But I do think just overall, they have like a nice skating skill ability to them. Well, that almost completes our second grouping. And
just slowly and surely. Okay. Thought that was going to be a little bit of a close call. If you hear me hesitate at all like that at any point throughout this, it's probably because there's going to be an ice dance close call. So hopefully you don't hear too much. Best case scenario.
Lots of Dua Lipa this morning.
That's right. It's me. You can see these teams out here drilling parts of their footworks now. I think just trying to get as much opportunity to get those turns to be as clean as possible, not jumping, not skidding, not rolling. I mean, it's gonna be a tough go, and it's gonna come down so much to the technical, in my opinion. Yes, the GOE is totally there, but something that as I've discussed, like, we can't really control much with the GOE. I mean, we can control our performance, but we can't really control what people will like or not like or reward. But I think that when it comes to turns, you have a bigger strength in terms of the control of, I can show you, or we can show you a clean rocker, or I can choose not to. And I think that if you can go out there and push to try to get level 3, even a level 4, which is going to be so rare, it's going to be like a unicorn out here today. But I think that if you can just put yourself in a position to be getting your pattern style step to be like a level 3 and not a base, ay Dios mío. And your midline step, if you can push for more than a level 2, I think those scores are going to start seriously changing, especially in these earlier groups, because you want to be a force to be reckoned with. I loved it when we got level 4 footworks.
The unicorn, as you said.
Yeah, we got a couple unicorns though.
Yeah.
We didn't suck at footwork.
Yeah. Who doesn't love getting a level 4?
I mean, yeah, that's true. Especially when we were like 5th and we'd get a level 4 and everyone like in front of us wouldn't get a level 4, and they're like, how did you do that? I remember we did that at an NHK once. It was actually Tess and Scott's. They returned, and it was Tess and Scott, Gabby Guillaume. The event was absolutely wild. And then we skated, and I think we almost got like a perfect sheet at that event, or very close to it. And we ended up beating both the teams in the technical of at least the base value of things. Because,
that's true.
yeah, remember Patch came up to us afterwards. This was before we were working with them, and he's like, yo, you beat our teams in technical. And I was like, well, yeah, base value. But, like, but you're right, so we're better. He didn't laugh at that, but I did, so that's all that matters for me. Love taking a little hugging moment.
I was just
We
gonna
hugged a
say
lot.
that. Yeah, it's a good way to just connect and feel like you're ready to take on the event.
That's right, and like just hopefully realize that you're not alone and those fears are totally equal.
Yeah.
Because I would be terrified. I used to sing to Caitlin when I was really scared, which happened a lot.
You would sing, and then also, I don't know if I'm sure you remember, there would be, like, when we were right about to get on the ice for either 5-minute warm-up or for our competition, you would scream.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, okay, expose me. Yeah, no, when I was backstage, I would do like I won't do it on air because this microphone's real close, but I would let out like a little like, "Wah!" like backstage, but like way louder. Most people couldn't hear it, or right before we skated, if the other skater was skating, and if I knew there was a louder piece of the music, I would let it happen right at the end, because it was just like a way for me to let my adrenaline out. Because sometimes I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need to get something out before I go skate, because I really didn't like feeling too much adrenaline when I skated, because I felt like I'd become rigid, and then it wouldn't feel great for Caitlin when I would be partnering like that. We worked with an amazing sports psychologist, and he actually helped me understand that when I was in that state, it was like I was bowling, and I was just bowling gutters the whole time. I would be really rigid, and like he gave me this kind of analogy of when you're really calm and you're bowling, you have a much higher chance of getting a strike. You're not forcing it down the lane. You're really aware, you're placing, you're going, you're moving constantly, but it's never forced. And I think that when I had too much adrenaline or too much excitement, it would start to be real forced, which was never fun, because you would be on the other end of that. You're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key today. We just saw a dog out the window.
That's right.
It's going to be key today for teams to really manage their energy, and we'll touch on that later. But
Yeah.
we're going to take an ice cut now. The teams are off.
Yeah. So just a quick little ice cut, and we'll catch you guys in a little minute. 10 minutes in a minute. 10 minutes in a minute. No, whatever. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
I was pretty young. I was about 5 years old, and I was not one that dealt well with the summer heat in Texas. So we found something indoors, an ice rink. So I really enjoyed that. I never really got to see snow. So being able to see snow and ice was something that was really cool to a 5-year-old in Texas. And I kind of just took off from there. I had helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, and I was just flying across the ice, and it just stuck.
Please welcome to the ice, Amber Glenn.
I'm a little nerdy. I enjoy comic books, anime, cosplaying, a card game called Magic the Gathering. It's a little obscure, but if you know, you know. Just trading and collecting, those kind of things. I have a dog named Uki. I love her so much. She's so cute. Please enter a photo if you can. Love her dearly. And honestly, just spending time with friends and family is huge for me. Obviously, I can't train as much as I did when I was 11, 12, 13. I have to manage my time really well. I have to make sure that I'm taking care of my body and my mind as best as I can. And part of doing it at my age is making sure it's something that I still enjoy, something I get satisfaction out of, and I still do. So just taking care of my body and mind is really important. U.S. Nationals was a whirlwind of emotions. I mean, to go out there and know that it was in my grasp to be the champion was something that I had never really felt before. And after the short program, having such a great time, being in second, being the highest I'd been after a short program before at Nationals was exhilarating. And to land the axel in the free skate, but then have it kind of slip away from me in the second half and lose that focus was devastating. I tried to keep my expectations in check, And when I heard, that's when I heard that I had won, I just lost it on national TV, which is a little embarrassing, but it's something that I'll never forget. I'm approaching this season with the mental side being my focus. Of course, I have obvious goals like medaling at both my Grand Prix. This year I'm doing triple axel in both the programs, and just overall trying to stay consistent. As someone that's been skating for almost 20 years, I've had tremendous highs and very low lows, to where I've had to take a step back from skating to prioritize my mental health. But I've also had these highs that are going to be highlights in my life. But I always make sure that I know that I'm more than just my skating, I'm more than just my successes and more than just my failures, that I'm a person who has people that I love and that love me, and to just make sure that that's at my core, and that kind of keeps me in a good direction.
But if there's like a scorpion, I'm suing. I'm so scared. I don't think I trust you guys. I'm so scared. I don't like touching things. Is it moving? Is it a toy spider? Is it food? Ah! I'm scared. Is it food? Is it ramen?
Yep. There you go.
Why did I have to close my eyes for you to put it in? Is it food? It's a granola bar, is it not? Well, it feels like one. Just tore it apart like one. It's like sugary. How can it not be a granola bar? It feels like a nut. It's a granola bar. It's not a Rice Krispie treat. So it's a granola bar. Oh, Twix?
On the outside.
Snickers? Payday?
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Jinx. Let me look at it. That's a granola bar. Ew. Ew. It's those peach slices at like breakfast buying things, because I eat those all the time.
When you contribute to the U.S. Figure Skating Fund, your gift forms the backbone of our initiatives, enabling us to support skaters across all levels and spearhead programs that ignite athlete potential. It's not just a donation, it's an investment in the dreams and aspirations of countless athletes who make figure skating an incredible spectacle of strength, artistry, and resilience. U.S. Figure Skating thanks you for your continued support. When you contribute to the U.S. Figure Skating Fund, your gift forms the backbone of our initiatives, enabling us to support skaters across all levels and spearhead programs that ignite athlete potential. It's not just a donation, it's an investment in the dreams and aspirations of countless athletes who make figure skating an incredible spectacle of strength, artistry, and resilience. U.S. Figure Skating thanks you for your continued support.
Yeah, we love doing this. I mean, this is so fun. We love doing things together in our commentary. This is the first time we've done commentary together. I mean, we do all the things, the new stuff together, and I think it's super cool. Yeah, I mean, actually, do either of us see ourselves coaching dance? We actually both do. We coach a lot of dance, a lot of everything. We work with a lot of different teams at different levels. I love it. I'm pretty sure you love it.
I do. I love it. It's a new perspective. I told Jean-Luc the other week that coaching is interesting to step into, because for so many years, especially towards the end of our career, we got to a point where we were told not to think and just feel and really tap into what we were into that muscle memory and not overthink. And now with coaching, I feel like it brings back the intellect a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so cool to learn new things.
Competitors, this warm-up is concluded. Skating now are Sofia Dowal and Wiktor Kuleja from Poland.
Skating first is the Polish team, Sofia and Wiktor.
Morita from Japan.
Wiktor. I didn't say it right, but we're going to let the announcer do their job, and I'm just going to do mine. I really love to see a good paso doble change of edge.
Yes, absolutely.
Even though it's not a requirement for a level, it's a requirement to see those steps to establish the start of it. I just think that showing that, like, very powerful, it's like a staple piece. There's like staple moves from compulsory dances over the years, and I think that, like, it would be so cool to see the judges reward, like, very well done ones. I mean, at the end of the day, it really does come down to the turns and the performance and the dance and whatnot. But seeing a really beautiful change edge on that opening steps of the paso doble will be just so cool. Run of edge is still something I think that they can definitely work on.
Music time, 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Skating now are Otana Yoshida and Masaya Morita from Japan, followed by Victoria Moni and Charles
This team,
Rosberger from
Utana and Masaya, honestly, they have such a nice skating quality minus that. Okay. He decided to do a little breakdancing right before he started. And the rocker to start this compulsory dance off. Brackets are extremely hard to get called. I'd say of all the turns, they're probably one of the turns that don't get called the most, just because they're very, 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 like very difficult to get called clean and also to do them clean. So I think that like getting a level 2 footwork in that pattern style set is going to be like, honestly, still very good. It's not great, but for a team like this, I think they're definitely vying to try to get at least a level 2. Like, it just, as I watch, like just in general skating skills, what's so cool is about their weight transfer is just so clear. You can always just see where they want to go when they skate. Like their body doesn't really fluctuate, it doesn't move too much. It doesn't like stutter or judder when it's like skating in that proper direction. I feel like it's always going in the direction that they want to go, which is a very hard skill to learn how to do. She's also so fun to watch. Like, I feel like her expression is so good.
She's great with using her eyes to play to different sides of the rink. You'll notice we are sitting on the backside right now watching the event, and even sitting on the other side is the way the program was choreographed. You can see she's playing to all sides of the arena, which is a great quality to have.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't feel like it's just the front side performance. I feel like we're getting like a full arena experience within that performance.
Very solid skate for them this morning.
Definitely one of those ones that you want to do, like where you're like, oh yeah, okay, let's go do this thing. We used to always say that at the end of our practices, like, okay, we're gonna go do this thing. Victoria and Carlo from Italy. Quality of working together, but I do feel like this step sequence right here was very kind of just skated through. I didn't feel like there's so many musical accents in Boogie Shoes, and I feel like we just missed so many of them because it was just kind of pushed through. Oh, remix, let's go. I like that little 2-foot like turn that he did at the end there. That was fun.
Dynamic ending to that program.
Music time, 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
I think a team like this is gonna really should try to strive towards a little bit more of that connection together. I thought there was like a lot of external performance, but again, like I want to make sure that the performance is like I always tried my best to make the performance like with you, like wanting it to be something that we created together as opposed to I'm just performing outwards. And it's a very hard skill to learn how to do, but I think that that's when you start to see like amazing ice dance teams is when they're performing and they're creating something together, not just two individuals.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you are two people skating together on the ice.
That's true.
Got a little far when he went to that knee slide there. Again, you want to maintain that spacing as long as possible throughout the skates. When you start getting this kind of accordion effect when you're doing elements that are side by side, I mean, that's not great. She missed the catch foot there and had a bobble on that second twizzle and checked one of the turns. It's not going to be something that's going to get them into that free dance. You got to be doing a squeaky clean performance.
And again, similar to last team, I'd really like more connection from this team. I see a lot of outward projection, especially from him, which is fine, but you want to make sure you tie in your other partner into the program as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's one of a great mentors told me once that I was the stem and Caitlin was the rose. Sometimes I have thorns, which is quite annoying, but in reality, like I want to be there to show her off in a way that rose petals are beautiful, but how you can see the stem and the rose working together, it's the same as a picture in a picture frame. We want to like have those complement one another, and I feel like right now we're seeing great performance. Don't get me wrong, like they're fully committed to what they're doing, but it's just very individually performed. I feel like she's trying to connect with him, but I don't feel like there's much intention for him to connect a lot with her. A lot of really cool dynamic tricks in this choreo step, but I just wish I saw that connection. Some dynamic stuff with that. It'll be pretty interesting to see how they do later. I hope they skate great. I think those twizzles gave them a little bit of an issue in the competition run that they just did, so they're going to want to really make sure that that doesn't happen later. you guys have any questions for Caitlin and I, send them to us on X at sorry, not at US Figure Skating, at Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hawaii. Send them our way. Tweet at us if you have anything. Don't be afraid to ask. There's no bad question. I know it's scary to put out in the Twitterverse, but it's going to be totally fine. Trust me, sweetie. So talk me through, Kate, how when you have not a great warm-up, let's just say it's one of those days where you do not feel great and you're kind of just feeling like you're working more, whether it's jet lag or not feeling you get enough fuel in you or whatnot. Like what were some of the skills that you used to kind of reset and put yourself back in a headspace to be able to compete?
I think a lot of it came down to being able to close whatever you did, good or bad, and just say like, okay, what did I learn from this? What am I going to bring forward from this? What am I leaving behind from this? And then really truly like closing and finding closure with what you just did and sending your energy into the future or onto the next task at hand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's excellent advice, just because you were like one of the most fierce competitors that I've ever met. And obviously I was lucky enough to have you be by my side. And I think that we've had our fair share of warm-ups that were like, okay, that's what we did this morning. It's not the end of the world, and how we both just kind of turned around and brought it back for the event and not let it affect us, I think was a very hard skill to learn, but a very crucial one if you want to be successful.
Absolutely, and like you said earlier, it's all about having that ability to hit the reset button. You know, funny story, at one point I had a sticky note on my door that if I needed to tap as I went to the rink for my second session, I would, and just as like a visual reminder that you can reset at any time and change your energy, change your focus. And I think for teams that when they finish their practice today, if it goes the way they want to, if it doesn't, like just being able to reset and regroup is super important as we lead into the competition.
Love a good spread eagle moment. I'm a fan. So Jean-Luc, tell me, what are you most excited to
see to experience later during the rhythm dance?
Ooh, my gosh. I think it's going to be super intense. I think just the ice dance event this season, they've been allowing teams that were unexpectedly to beat other teams. And I don't think that there's a projected just for sure winner. I think that it's going to really come down to who can keep their cool and who can bring that level of performance and level of ease. Obviously, I'm very excited for Chalk Baits to see them leave this event with another world win, another championship win, especially at home. I think would be just so amazing for them. I'm very excited to just see how Christina and Anthony do as well. I mean, they're up and coming. They've been around for a while, but at the same time, I think that they're really starting to find themselves. And I think that what's going to be really interesting is just to see how the teams get placed in these groupings in terms of like what they do, those top groupings of teams, and how their performance today can really send a trajectory and momentum for tomorrow for that free dance. So I'm really excited just to just watch it because I'm an ice dance nerd. I'm a skating nerd, like through and through. And to pick just one or two people, I think I really struggle with. So I'm just excited to see some good ice dance. What about you?
Absolutely. I think I'm excited to see how everyone has a personal take on the style of the social dance. Having it span across 3 decades gives a lot of variety. So much changed between the 50s to the 70s. So just seeing everyone's personal take on how they can interpret their music and the style of the era that they're choosing, I'm very excited to see.
Yeah.
So now we are on to Group 4.
Yes.
Very excited to see some of these teams out here. We have Caroline Soucy and Shane Furious representing Ireland. We also have Alicia Fabry and Paul Eyre from Canada. This is their first World Championships. Very excited to see how they do. We also have a team from Switzerland and from Israel on the ice with us.
Yeah, and the Israeli team, Elizabeth and Alexei, unfortunately had to withdraw from Europeans due to a collision on a practice earlier in the week there, so they didn't get to compete at that event. So it's great to see them here competing. I know that that's always really hard when you have to withdraw from an event just due to injury and whatnot. But I think that they're a really young team. I remember seeing them skate together from a really young age, and it's just cool to see this younger generation starting to come up. They were at Skate America earlier this year as well. Going to be really cool to see these teams. I'm really excited to see Fabry and Eyre as well. I mean, you said it's their first World Championships. I mean, they're on the rise. They have a rawness and a powerfulness to them as a team for Canada, which I think it's different than your other 2 Canadian teams here at this event. Also, to be honest with you, the Swiss team, I think, are so good. Like, they're young. They were at Junior Worlds.
I was just going to say, I saw them at Junior Worlds a few weeks ago. They have a really good quality and fun take on their programs. Typically, they go for programs that are a little bit different and out of the box. Very character-driven in their skating.
Super character-driven, quirky, but they have such a just, like, beautiful kind of effortlessness quality to them. Now, this is going to be their first senior world championships, and I think that can be very daunting. So I think for them, making sure that they hold their own in this space is going to be super crucial. They do such a fun free dance to Edward Scissorhands, and I hope they get to qualify to perform that here. It's going to be a tall order, absolutely.
But you never know. Anything can happen.
Yeah, ice is slippery, and it's ice dance, so you honestly never know.
There is 1 minute remaining in this warm-up.
All right, so some questions are rolling in. Kent, how scary is it to dart underneath your partner's leg? Are you not worried about taking a skate to the neck? It freaks me out watching it. Well, this is a harder question for us to ask because my legs are kind of short.
Typically, I don't think we did a lot of underneath the leg partnering that much.
No.
But from a spectator's side of a point of view, I can see why that would freak you out. Kent, you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Kent. I mean, like, yeah, I'm trying to recall, like, did we ever do one? And if we tried to do one, I don't think it worked very well, and it never made it into a program just because of that reason. Maybe you did like a little kick and I did a knee slide under you, but I never like went underneath your leg.
Yeah.
No. And you definitely didn't go under mine. Skating first from Ireland, Carolyn and Shane. They used to skate for Canada, but did a like little switchy poo and decided to skate for Ireland, which I think is a really smart opportunity for them because, I mean, the depth in Canada is obviously very, very it's deep. It's crazy, and they're a very good team. But I think they want to give themselves more opportunities.
Little James Brown, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
so. Yeah, I think you're right. Line step sequences dance, but also really try to not make it look like you're being too careful on the turns. I feel like they're dancing and then it's like, okay, here's a turn. And it's not executed with much speed, which I don't mind. Now you see teams take two different approaches. Usually they're either just hammering out speed and they're trying to cover as much ice as they can on a midline step, or they're going for a little bit more of a dancing approach. But with the dancing approach, you're kind of putting yourself a little bit more vulnerable, because if you don't dance everything and you place those turns, one, you might not get the turn, but two, on top of that, I'm losing an excitement factor big time. So although it can work in their favor, I think it's a risky move. And absolutely, James Brown. I feel good. How long is practice usually before a competition? Do they put down fresh ice between sessions?
Do you mean, do they do an ice cut? For that, I can tell you that typically every 2 groups, or after every 2 groups, there is an ice cut. But between sessions, they don't like redo the ice, as in like relay the ice. Ice cuts, yes. And then practices, it depends. For instance, when we used to compete at national championships in the US, our warm-up the day of practice would be 20 minutes. Typically on an ISU stage, the practices are 30 minutes, which is what Jean-Luc was mentioning earlier today. It's a bit surprising to see that there's only 25-minute practices this morning. So teams have to be very efficient with their time.
Where you're going to really notice it is in these later groups when there are 5 teams on, because there's a 5-minute warm-up and you're going to have 5 teams each doing a 3-minute program. Give or take, there's a 30-second to 1-minute buffer to start, to like call your name and start. So by the time that last team finishes, there's going to be about 25, 30 seconds, I feel like. It's going to be a tight window.
Overall, a good performance. One thing I'd love to see from this team is a little bit more knee action, getting into the ice, working on their flow.
And like alongside that is like, as they bend, to not have their shoulders be going in opposition. Like I noticed that on a lot of the turns that they were doing, the shoulders were coming up and they weren't getting as down as they'd like. This is a Swiss team that I was talking about, Gina and Vida. What? I don't know if I said that right, but Barbie-inspired rhythm dance.
You and I have so many things to talk about. You know, I used to wonder what it would be like to go on my first day.
They have some really cool tricks too.
Every girl loves to think about these things. I'm sure you do too. I even like to sing about it. And that's what Ken and I are going to do right now, together. There's a house with a tree by the window. There's a chair.
There's such a lightness to their skating, and obviously they're really interpreting the stiffness of Barbie dolls and Ken, maybe. I don't know. Wasn't a big Barbie fan myself, but I think that they have a really nice lightness to their skating.
Would love to see them a bit closer in their holds.
Oh yeah, you could fit a family of 4 between those. Yeah, we gotta close that up. You got long arms, but don't let me know they're that long. If they don't just go incredibly deep into the connection together, it can be very monotone feeling. What? Send it. We're going to see this a little later with Chalk Bates. Oh, that's fun. I'd love to see him go like a little bit crazier.
Yeah,
to be honest.
absolutely.
I feel like she wants to. And I think that like what's so fun about ice dance is like when you get a team that's really connected, they feed off of each other's energy. So I know there was times that I'd see Caitlin and she'd look at me and she was so into it, and I was like, yo, I gotta keep up. Like I could just see the emotion that she was putting into the performance and that out push. And I think that I'd like to see that coming from him a little bit more, is that commitment, not to necessarily the character, but the expression and that. Skating now, the Canadians, Alicia and Paul, first World Championships. They went to the Four Continents Championships and had a harder skate in the rhythm dance with a fall in the pattern style step sequence. I think a team like this have a lot of potential to be really good. They have a lot of power. They have quite good connection, quite honestly.
Starting off with the twizzles. Very solid.
And as these groups start to develop further and further, I think you're going to start really seeing step-ups. And I think a team like Alicia and Paul are one of those stepping stones of stepping up. As you just saw, the execution of those twizzles, the maintaining of the spacing, the power, the clarity, it's really, really there. It's going to be interesting to see how they weigh out here with all the other skaters. I think for them, something that's going to be super important is making sure that they stay connected, that they don't have any extra emotions around, and if they do, they can open that door and communicate it together, because I think that can sometimes... fun Elvis-inspired rhythm dance here.
With their final element of the choreo step.
I think Alicia really embodies this style very well.
Even there, with where she was playing with
Yeah,
her
yeah,
skirt,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
little nuances are there.
She looks like it's very in her blood to be doing this. Fun program for Alicia Paul. Another team that obviously will be pushing to be qualifying for that free dance, and it's going to really come down to those levels. I think a clean skate, but on top of that, making sure that they set themselves apart, pushing for those level 3 footwork sequences. I think this is obviously a younger team in terms of age. I know they've been skating together longer, but I think that something that's going to really help them is just kind of just time. They look a little young, not just visually, but the way they skate is executed. We're executing elements here, and I don't feel like there's much connection. They may be looking at each other, but that doesn't mean you're connected.
As you said, though, glad to see he's recovered and back at this competition after Europeans.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, it's always tough to not be able to perform when you train so hard. I mean, I was talking about this with Jackie Wong. Just like, it's crazy how we train for like 3 or 4 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week for 3 minutes. It's like actually crazy. But but I think just like being able to perform and do your craft and love what you do on a stage like this. I mean, the arena at TD Garden is just absolutely stunning. The sound system is unreal. All of the LED everything. I feel like a dang mosquito in that building. I'm just trying to look at everything that's bright, and the whole thing is bright. And it's so cool because it feels as though it has a different kind of, a different feel than any other event that I've ever been to in terms of the ice is lit so well and the audience is not. It almost gives like a theater feel.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it's just bright lights in the arena. And I feel like there isn't that change. And it's so cool as someone sitting in the audience to have it feel so much just about the people on the ice. You already feel like a goldfish when you're out there anyway, so. So, yeah, the talk about the Olympic spot qualifications, there's some pressure on the teams. Is that something that you would have been thinking about? You know, I think for me, I didn't really think too much about the Olympic qualification spot, as I was just like, okay, we got to do our job today. Because in the U.S., they don't pick the Olympic team until the U.S. Nationals.
right before the games.
And also, in addition to that, for the U.S., which you'll see in the upcoming season, is that pretty much everything from this Worlds up to the national championships of next year's Olympic qualifier count towards the Olympic selection. Compared to some sports where there's an Olympic trial, the U.S. holds an Olympic selection procedure. So all of these events in the upcoming year come into play when it comes to what U.S. team is chosen for the Olympic team. And I think it's what Jean-Luc was saying, we definitely had that in the back of our minds, but it was a big goal of ours to always focus on the task at hand and not get swept into the future too much.
Absolutely. I mean, because it can be so daunting to be like, okay, let's qualify for the Olympics. Whoa. Or how about we do our rhythm dance run through today and let's really love this performance and give everything we got. And then we let the judges do what the judges are here to do. And then everything else is out of our control, because at the end of the day, if I'm so fixated on just one thing, it's going to make my life real hard. Great question. When you guys are in the kiss and cry after you skate, do you see the main score or is it broken down?
Do we see the main score or is it broken down? So that's a very good question. I'm stumped right now.
We would see the total score. We would see the technical element and the program component score, just very much as you guys all see as well on the Jumbotron. When we leave the kiss and cry backstage, we can have immediate, we can see the technical sheet, that broken down score that you're asking for, but that's not something that's on the screen right in front of us. Like, we can't sit down. I'm not completely out of breath fighting for my life and then be like, oh, we got a level 1 footwork. I'm like, oh my gosh, is there an oxygen tank somewhere nearby? That's usually what I'm thinking. And hey, okay, you just did awesome. That last minute you pulled me. Pulled me in a way that I needed to be pulled. Not you were pulling me, but you really helped me through that last minute. So you can't see that broken down score, but you can see the technical and the program components part, which equals the total score, if that kind of answers what you're asking.
I'm loving the questions. Keep them coming.
Yeah, seriously, send them our way. At Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hawaii, on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it. It's that emoji that's not a bird anymore. It looks like the letter X.
Pause. That's the word. Pause for
Lobster, butter, bread. That's it. It's very simple.
Hot. Hot.
Oh, it's hot. Do you have more about lobster? Like it's just lobster, butter, bread. That's it. It's very simple.
Simple is always best. Hot. Hot, for sure. Flavor.
The hot lobster roll was better. It's right. The more lobster you get, the better.
Hello, my name is Bruce Hurd, and I've been involved with figure skating since 1962, so 60 plus years of figure skating. I have been a skate tech, strictly a skate tech, for the last 15, and that's been in the Colorado Springs area. My original background, I had developed myself in Montana with famous skaters like John Pektovich, who was one of my idols at the time as a youngster. And that Great Falls Figure Skating Club was one of the original 12 clubs in the United States. So I was just blessed to be living in there and being able to get started in my career at the time. After going through all of my competitive career, I decided that I wanted to do some teaching, did some teaching. In the meantime, all those years before, my father was actually started skate sharpening when I was a kid. I never really learned from him, but then I was later on introduced to Sid Broadbent, who is now 102, and he was the developer of one of the skating machines. And I spent 25 years of engineering, instruction, and development with him, and just learning the design and understanding of boots, blades, and what I like to call the real balance. Everybody has a balance, and that's how I treat it. Everybody is individual, has different feet, different structures, and I want to give it the best that I can for each one of them.
This is just mean. Worcestershire. War. I know it's not Worcester, like Worcester. Worcester. Okay. Gosh. This is just mean. Leicester? Really? Oh no. Dang it, Leicester. Tingsboro? Oh no. Guys. Bostonians, how do you do this? Gloucester. Gloucester. Dang it. This is so evil. Scituate. Sort of. Situate. Gosh, Massachusetts. Tewksbury. Thank you. I got one. Oh my god. Pulaski Way? Pilski Way? Pilski. I'm just gonna guess Pilski Way. I'm like guessing like all these letters are silent. I promise you guys I know how to read. Oh no. Okay, I wanna say like Leominster, but yes? Okay. No, this is not a place. This is not a place here. Lake Chargagago Manchuagago Chambuna Gungamaug. Lake C.
First rule about Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club.
Is this Sandlot?
Oh, I know that one.
Yay for baseball, home run.
No.
Sandlot? No. Sandlot's with a dog.
Rookie of the Year.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
The Rookie, I think, maybe? Angels in the Outfield? No?
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I knew it was Rookie of the Year, but I watched The Rookie a while back, so.
All right, nice job today. Very good. Excellent. You're welcome.
Focus on your unison when you're coming out.
And then we're gonna bend your knees a little, and you're trying to push out with one foot.
Well, we got to finish on commitment.
Our arms are out, and we're bending our knees.
Good job. Look at you. Can we swizzle together? Let's see, can we swizzle?
Somebody's gonna have to go tight, so be careful. All right, go again.
138.85. And your total score, 204. Season's best.
Let's welcome Madison Shaw and Evan Bates.
Well, we are skating to Take 5 by Dave Brubeck, and it's just a really classic American piece, very jazzy, and so I was really inspired by the kind of film noir, Art Deco era, and so I took a lot of inspiration from that. As you can see, Evan's costume has like the shading and the spotlights lighting up a building, and so he has that here and in the back. And then my dress was really inspired by the Empire State Building, very Art Deco with the lines here, and then the coloring is an ode to the Statue of Liberty and how the copper oxidizes. So it's very just what I was thinking of when I was diving into American culture and history and trying to get that kind of jazz feeling and like a moody, kind of rainy New York nights in the 1920s was my inspiration.
I am super, super impressed by my very talented wife, Madison Chalk. I do watch her in her creative process. She'll be just sketching for hours. Sometimes she'll just wake up in the night and have an idea and grab her pencil and paper and just like off she goes. Super talented. She also designed Olivia Smart's new free dance dress. She's also in this competition, came out just amazing. Super proud of her entrepreneurial spirit, and just a very supportive, proud husband.
And I do bounce like all of my ideas off of him. I'll make a bunch of sketches and get his opinion, and he's very helpful and very honest, so I really appreciate that. It helps me kind of focus my ideas sometimes.
No, next.
No, I don't know where that comes from. No.
We are back. We didn't really go anywhere. I went to the restroom. Got warmer. Pretty much it.
Yeah, so this is the first virtual crew with 5 teams on the ice. It's get a bit busier out here.
It's gonna get tight. rest of the groupings have had 4, so I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of these skaters say up, watch. Probably. I'd love to. I was notoriously yelled on our team. You were. In training at home, you'd say it. At a competition, you'd be like, you say it.
Yeah, so this session we have the British team, Sophia and James. We also have the Australian team, Holly and Jason. The German team, Jennifer and Benjamin. The Czech team, Katerina and Daniel. And capping off the group with the Georgian team, Benjamin and Vlad.
Some exciting skaters out here today. I mean, we're really going to be starting to push towards, like, these are your people pushing for qualifications in free dance and whatnot. I mean, some beautiful skaters out here. We're some great partnering work, some really fun programs as well. I mean, that's what's so cool about this is the diversity of the programs in this group. We have a really 70s inspired racing. We have a Beatles. We have an ABBA. We got all the things. Little Lady Marmalade, Marmalade, Jam. I don't know, Lady Jam.
Lady Jam?
Yeah, Lady Jam, not Lady Marmalade. Marmalade. I don't know. You fix it. You're picking up what I'm throwing down.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
That's right.
Yes, but you can really tell this is going to be a step up in skating skills that we've entered with this group. Even just what Jonathan was talking about earlier about that quality of seeing the paso doble done. We're seeing all of these teams have a great run of edge. And I'm excited for this group. It's going to be a fun warm-up.
Great question, Lifelong Lemons. You competed through the transition from compulsory dance, short dance, and rhythm dance. Did you have a preference? What do you think of the change of this? What do you think of this change for the discipline?
Yes, we have been around a while.
Yeah, okay. Geez, thanks for making me feel older than I am.
Yeah, seeing all these 2,000 years birthdays, I'm like, woof, I'm getting old, guys.
You are.
Yes. Well, you're older than I am. So
you're not wrong.
But to answer your question, I think Jean-Luc alluded to this a bit earlier, but I really also miss the quality of, like, whether that's old dance holds or compulsory dance seen in full. I miss that in skating. I think it's the essence of what ice dance started out in. I love the creativity and the dance that the world of ice dance is bringing into the sport. But I do miss the old school qualities that you would see with teams being able to partner with compulsory dances. For the simplicity of just an event having 2 different programs compared to 3 different events, I think it is easier. But I do miss having, like, the pattern dance infused within the rhythm dance. What do you think, John Luke?
Yeah, I miss the short dance a lot. I mean, if you're asking that specific question, compulsory dance, short dance, rhythm dance, I mean, there wasn't too much of a difference, but I do miss, I mean, there was with compulsory dance and short dance, but I miss the short dance because I really missed more of a direct overarching theme. I do think it's cool to see different dance styles being 50s, 60s, and 70s, but you know what? It's really hard to compare. It's really hard to have direct comparison, and that's what was so great about a compulsory dance is you watched a paso doble, for instance, and you watched another team do one, and you're like, well, they're better. That's better. And that's a direct competition. I mean, we are competing at the end of the day, and I think that I miss that. Like, it is cool to have all these different kind of visual representations of their own interpretations, but I miss the direct comparison because, like, at the end of the day, that's what we get to see in other disciplines. You get to compare teams with twists. You get to compare teams that are doing the triple axel in the short program. All those types of things are direct comparisons, and you're seeing that kind of competition, which is super understandable. Like, people are like, wow, that twist was huge. I can very much tell you that was going to beat this team's twist or vice versa. And I think what's hard in ice dance is it's kind of hard to see, like, you like it and it's all skated well and you don't understand what's going on. And I think that's why people now might not be loving it as much as they used to. So I hope that kind of answers your question, Lifelong Lemon. Just love saying that name. Skating first, the British, Phoebe and James. Now, they are up and coming in terms of a team in Great Britain. They've been around for a while, but they have such a beautiful, as we talk about skating quality and dance frame and whatnot, I think that they have a really solid base to their skill set. Also, just like a big fan of the flow. Can't go wrong with a guy with good flow. I'm talking about hair, everybody.
They have great knee action. I love to see that.
Very close. Staying constant. And as we talked earlier in the previous groups, there's different approaches you can take for your midline step sequence. A little bit slower, a little bit faster over the ice. If you go slower, you really want to make sure that that dance quality is so high. These guys obviously have pretty good dance quality, but their approach is much more about the speed and ice coverage. They're going barrier to barrier, and we want to make sure that that's not too far on the barrier because that thing will not move.
Coached by Nick Buckland and Penny Coombs, which is great to see. There's some heritage British ice dance in there.
That's right. Love some good British ice dancing. Also, I'm sorry if you hear my stutter in my voice. I keep saying judder. Stutter. I'm just like dancing in my seat because I like the remix. This would be fun to skate to.
Absolutely.
This would be so fun to skate to. I feel like we'd go off. I feel like you'd have to be like, Jail, calm down.
I did that a lot.
You did, and I'd probably only last about 25 seconds, to be honest with you. I'd be gassed. I did love a good slow program for that purpose. Here's your partial step sequence, or your pattern style step sequence. Now I think in these groupings and from now on, you're gonna see where she just did that bracket in that top corner, closest to us on the screen. She did a right forward inside bracket. I think you're gonna see the majority of the teams placing that bracket there. As I was saying, that's probably one of the hardest turns to get. And when it's placed well, one might say it could be a little bit harder to call, so you might hopefully get the benefit of the doubt of it. It's farthest away from your technical panel in this corner, and it's a little hidden. As you notice, she went on the outside of him closest to the wall, so he creates a little bit of a barrier too. Although there are cameras all around this. Oh, nice little heart.
Cute.
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 That was spelled with a Q, by the way, not a C.
It's interesting to me they put their twizzles quite late in their program, which is typically not something you'll see. Strategically, a lot of teams put their twizzles earlier on in the program, but I always appreciate to see teams challenge themselves like that.
That's right, and that peace sign he threw up was not because he wants a level 2, it's because it's peace and love, baby. Up next, the Australians, Holly Harris and Jason Chan.
Skating to ABBA.
Gimme, gimme.
Gimme those points.
That's right. Gimme something more than a level 1. Not a great singer. Don't take me to karaoke. I can dance, but I can't sing.
Take a chance on me.
Holly always has such fun costumes.
Yes, she's the queen of costuming.
Visually on camera, that first twizzle set seemed a little far apart, but executed well nonetheless. I think the midline step was executed. I feel like the performance was trying, like there's a big difference of performing and trying to perform. And
Absolutely.
I think that that's like a really hard skill to learn. And I think they're still exploring what that looks like for them.
Yes. Little moments of instability as well in the middle of that midline, but in general, pretty solid.
And we're like really like, we're very picky on these types of things. I think these to the naked eye, like, oh wow, I really like it. Love a good ABBA program, and it's still very good. But we're just trying to give our insight of like why it could go from maybe a +1 to a +2 or vice versa, going +2 even +3. Obviously, we want to be climbing with those scores as much as possible. Here's your choreo step.
One of the important things in the choreo step is that you go from barrier to barrier. So the risk is if you don't get close enough to the barrier, that you would not get your element called as an element. So that's why you'll see all of these teams get really close to the wall when they're starting their choreo steps.
And what's so crazy about a choreo step too is that you can get minuses or like lower grades of execution if you have like a 3-turn that scratches. If you have a scratchy choreo step, for instance, which is hard not to do when you're dancing with such amplitude and speed to not scratch, you can actually negatively impact the GUE on that element. So making sure that there's no little mistakes of any sort. Up next, the Zemens. Rhythm, and I think that when they're a team pushing to try to make sure not only are they qualifying for this free dance, but they're trying to get those Olympic spots. I think that for them, what's going to be super important, other than the technical, is going to be really, see, this is already more danced here, but those first 10 seconds of a program are so important.
They set the tone for the program.
That's right.
Here, I'll give it to you this way. It's like an appetizer to a meal.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, you're speaking my language now, senorita. Anything with food has got my name all written all over it.
Yeah, but if you have a really good appetizer, which is like the first 30 seconds of a program, it sets the tone for the meal.
Oh,
it sets
so
the tone
much.
for the program.
Sometimes either they're going to be doing this choreo step in the ending, or I would imagine there might be a rotational lift right afterwards, and then a quick little end pose. Maybe even he's on his knee. Who knows?
With a finger point.
Oh, yeah, the finger point is actually not mandatory in ice dance, but for some reason prescribed to the majority of your skaters. Oh, told you, Rolly.
Rolly, let's see if you get the rest right.
Come on, give me a knee. Let me predict the future here.
Ah,
No.
So
Oh,
close.
we're both. No knee. There's
No
nothing on the
knee,
knee.
no point.
No knee, no point. No problem.
Maybe we don't know figure skating as much as we said we do.
That's right. You're not wrong.
Now we have the Czech team.
Now, this is a team, brother-sister dynamic duo from Czech. Junior world champions. Very, very, very powerful. I think something for them that's going to be super important is to make sure they give me some ebbs and flows throughout their performance, because they have so much power and they are able to physically maintain that for 3 minutes, which is just like, wow, Godspeed that you can. And there's that speed and power that I was talking about. If you have a hard time reading what's on the boards, that clearly means you're going quite quick.
Nice entry into those twizzles too, very unexpected. And that's one thing that you'll see different this season, that in between the rhythm dance and the free dance, that there needs to be a difference in one of the features that they get credit for. So a lot of the time what you'll see is that in one program, the teams are going to do 3 twizzles to meet that check mark for level, and then in the other program, they'll do some sort of difficult entrance into their twizzles. And it can be either the rhythm or the free that you do them. So we'll see a mix of both today.
That speed again, absolutely. It's just so impressive, the power that they have. Oh.
Very cute little moments in this program as well. Nuances. I think that's one thing you'll see the difference between these last few groups and the first few groups is these nuances.
Oh, they be swimming. That's fun. I love that little like
skippy moment.
Yeah, skippy steps. What did I tell you about that bracket being in that corner? There's a forward outside bracket. Godspeed. A lot of music cuts in this piece. I think that a lot of music cuts in rhythm dance can be really exciting, but it's very hard for an audience to feel confident enough to get behind it.
Because as soon as they start to get into the piece of music, it changes.
That's right. You read my mind.
And, oh.
Finger point, knee slide.
Finger point, knee. We got it right that time.
That's right. I was 4 minutes too early.
You predicted the future.
Well, that would be. Call me That's So Raven. It's the future I can see.
And now we have the Georgian team of Diana and Gleb on the ice. They recently moved to Montreal this season to train. It'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table today.
I think these guys are very exciting. And I think they're starting to find their groove a little bit. In terms of quality of ice dance, like, I think they bring a lot to that. What I really notice is like their run of edge. I mean, they had, I think, one crossover and they just zoomed across the rink there. Because you notice that they slowed down a little bit before the start of this midline step, so they're going hopefully for that more cleaner approach for the turns and try to dance more in the in-between. And as I was saying, run of edge, it is just so easy for them, almost to the point where they're going to run into some problems one day if they don't practice well enough or have that strategy right, because they're so quick at times. I think the wall comes faster than they might anticipate. Fun though, it stayed really close the whole time. Another team though, as I was speaking earlier, about wanting to see a little bit more connection.
Yes, absolutely.
I think they perform very well, but I'd love to just see a little bit more play, particularly from him towards her. Fighting for those spots with 36 dance teams in this event, and I think that of the 20 that qualify, I think that what's going to be really important is making sure that that performance is really authentic, present in the moment, being open to little adjustments here and there, because I think that's something that we were always open with, is making sure that we're okay with little things not changing per se, but not restricting those things, being in control but not controlling. It's two very different things that sound the same, but they're very different.
There is 1 minute remaining in this practice session. Competitors, if you have mispronounced your name, please stop by the announcing desk so that we may make corrections prior to your event. Thank you.
Were you a person, Caitlin, at the end of these warm-ups that you'd want to run through things alone, like little twizzles or turns or whatnot, or did you be like, yo, we're good, let's just chill?
I think it depended. If there was something that was technically very important or challenging, I might go through it once or twice. But in general, I'd say we were more like, one thing that we really liked before we competed was to absorb the energy of the arena that we were in. And when, like, as I mentioned earlier, we liked to start our warm-ups pretty quick as we got on. So being able to take time towards the end to actually soak in the environment, see what's around us, that was really important. So I didn't typically run through things too much after we were done with our training together.
Yep.
You too?
Yeah, I back it. I was like, yo, can we get off? Wanted to go to lunch, take a nap. The next grouping's taking the ice now. As you see, ice dancers just do not care, and they're going to take their sweet time to get their bows in. They used to be so irritating for me when we'd get on and the other group was just like taking their sweet time.
Yeah, especially with 5 teams, ends up being 10 teams on the ice.
Yeah, that's 10 teams is far too too much. There's not even judges here. Let's do a big old group bow. So another very exciting group. We have the Finnish team out here, the Spanish team, the Czech team, the Korean team, and the French team. All very, very strong skaters, individually and as a team. I think that staying calm, staying in the moment is going to be so important for these teams, and just kind of letting themselves do their thing. Like, trust the training. The word that we used a lot, Caitlin and I, was trust. Sometimes we didn't speak too much. I mean, I did.
I did too at times.
Yeah, but I think that we would always just go back into saying trust. Just trust. Trust yourselves, trust each other, trust our training. Because then you start skating with such a different type of confidence.
And we have some teams on this session that have had really breakout seasons this year. The Finnish team, Jukka and Juho. They've had some really great performances this year. If you're talking about power, like you were mentioning, the previous Czech team, we have another brother-sister Czech team, Natalie and Filip, and they are incredibly powerful as well. And then Olivia Smart and Tim Deek, they've been having a breakout season as well. So very excited to see this group.
Absolutely. And the French team, Lucia and Theo, had a very good rhythm dance at Europeans, putting themselves in a good position to be fighting for that top 5 placement. Smart Deek have had phenomenal success with their free dance all season. I think recipients, or not recipients, but they're in that final running for most entertaining program and best costume for the ISU awards. The only ice dance team in that mix with Junhua Chao and Ilya Malinin.
For most entertaining program.
Yeah, and best costume.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, I think that you're going to have some really great skates today. If you have any questions, send them to Caitlin and I at Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hawaii on X, on Twitter. DM, tweet at us, do all the things. We're just checking them, trying to answer these as we go along here. There is a mix of seasoned teams in this event. New, up-and-coming teams. Which ones are you most excited for, and what do you think they specifically bring to the sport? Well, like I mentioned on the last group, I really like the British team. I think that they bring just a freshness to the sport in terms of it. You can really see like there's a level of athleticism, but attention to detail for dancing and whatnot. I think that is something that I love to see, not just showing me a bunch of tricks left, right, and center. And I think that they have a good balance of power without making the program about how much can you push.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also a big fan of the U.S. team, Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko. Last year, their free dance was one of my favorite of the season. Mm-hmm. And I think they have really improved a ton over the last few years. They're very, very powerful, very intentional with their skating, and their rhythm dance versus their free dance this year really bring out two sides of their personalities.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited to see them. Who else?
I love Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin. I think that they bring such a crazy assurance of edge quality to their skating, especially in the footwork sequences. I mean, there's just so many phenomenal athletes out here. I'm just so excited for a lot of them. Skating now, the Finnish Jukka and Juho. Maybe we're going to see some YMCA. I'd put money on it, unless they changed it.
And she likes learning cat language. I wonder what that means.
It means meow, meow, meow. I like chicken, I like liver. Meow mix, please deliver. Starting off with the twizzle set here. Got to be careful though that they don't check.
Little check on that second twizzle for me.
Yeah, I agree. And the first one was almost checked. Another one, run it back. I love it because people are doing the passo on it. And we're like, we're going to do the blues.
So much options when it comes to Donna Summer.
That's right. Midnight Blues. Just kidding. It is not the Midnight Blues, everybody. That is the pattern style step sequence.
Another team that you mentioned earlier that I'd like to see more internal connection between the two of them. They have great expression and connection outward, but I'd love to see that kind of intention with one another.
I agree. Like, I wish I saw her play with him much more with such a strong female lead in that music. But I think they have a lot of fun time here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, let's go. Now, this is where they really, I think, shine. Very much like the British team, Lila and Lewis, excuse me. I think that they're very good performers.
Yes, absolutely.
They love these opportunities to do a good choreo step, and I think that's where they really start to shine through. Working on that connection will be something that can push them further in their career and grow to higher heights, essentially. Fun. Finger
Well
point.
skated.
Skating now from Spain, Olivia Smart and Tim Deek.
5 seconds. Skating now, Olivia Smart and Tim Deek, representing Spain. To be followed by Valerie Tashkova and Philippe Tashkir, Czechia.
Solid twizzles to start the program. Would have loved to see them a little bit closer.
I agree. you're seeing this grouping of teams here really making sure when it comes to this step sequence, they're all trying to be not too careful, but they really want to try to give themselves the best chance to get more than a level 2. And you can see it with the way that they skate. Such a fine line, right? Like
Such a fine line.
Trying to perform, trying to not overperform, but not skip out on your turns.
One thing I love particularly with Olivia and this team is her commitment to the performance. There's never a moment in her skating where you see her not in her performance.
I completely agree, and I think what's been so cool is seeing their journey grow from last season to this season is just the trust in Tim himself. I think that he's really been learning to trust himself with his skating and who he is, and I really feel like they're skating much more like equals now.
Absolutely.
I noticed too within his skating, like he's taking much more of a commanding lead rather than a following approach. And this is going to be one of those ones that the crowd will get absolutely into. But they got to go crazy for it. For 3 seconds for the level, but great edge quality. I think they're in a really good spot for the rhythm dance today. Again, another team that is just fighting for this.
In the mix.
In the mix. They gotta just lock it in.
Now we have another brother-sister team from the Czechia. Also extremely powerful.
Yeah, very powerful. I mean, I remember like when we were on the ice with them, I used to always like, yo, I feel so slow. But like, it's just their crossovers. They are beasts. Cruising. I wish I saw that change edge a lot bigger than what I just did.
Yeah,
For
the edge
the
quality was nice, but they have the capacity to really make it a lot deeper.
Oh, I mean, like they are so strong. Like that should be 3 times the size that it was, in my opinion.
Yeah. Interesting pattern for the PS pattern style dance as well.
Very interesting, and we're like stretching quite far down for those cross rolls. It's hard for me because it finished with a lot less speed than I know they did. They put the brakes on in the corner just to slow some things down for some of their turns, but for me. Cool remix.
Very cool. Nice twizzles as well.
Oh, I love that. Hey. Oh, I wish we stayed in I Feel Love.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. when I see finger point in ice dancing, it is something that like irritates me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. If it's not done with like a pure deep intention of like really wanting to get groovy and dance, when it's like, oh yeah, we have 2 beats here, let's like finger point up and down, and it doesn't feel like there's much behind it other than just speed, I have a hard time loving it. And I felt like the last part of that choreo step there from the brother-sister duo there, I really felt as though that's what I was getting. Skating now, the Koreans, Hannah and Ye.
Yay, yay!
This program was a change from earlier in the season. They completely revamped their music, costuming. I believe they went from Gloria Gaynor to some James Brown. Almost said James Bond. That's not what they're doing. This team also fairly new to the senior circuit. They were second at Junior Worlds a few years ago, but they've made a great splash with their charismatic skating and very character-driven performance as well. You'll see them do Cruella in the free dance, possibly tomorrow, and very character-driven.
In terms of character-driven things and performance with like real intention, I feel like Hannah is actually one of the best at doing it. She's so good at performing naturally.
Yes.
As you can see, especially in that Cruella de Vil free dance. But just when she has that free such a quick way to feel authenticity if there's presence behind the eyes. Otherwise, it's just like lights on, no one's home. Fun skate. I think them choosing to do a different rhythm dance was a very smart idea. Skating now, Lucia and Theo from France. France. Bonjour.
Rinkside even when you stop skating in between elements in like practice runs like this.
This is why you're amazing, because I've been saying this all week with everybody.
Yes.
Yes, I agree completely. I wish I saw that same thing.
It's still part of the performance even in between like, if you stop. And if you break character and disconnect from one another, it ends up becoming a lot harder to regroup and reconnect with each other.
Absolutely. Like, we used to always use the reference of like boiling water. Like, once we get that water boiling, I don't mind simmering it, but I don't want to take it off the heat. I want it to always kind of be there. And I think for me, what's so interesting is because then you're going to regroup and pick up at different levels of energy. Although it doesn't really look like that for this team right here. They have a very solid midline, it looks like. Oh, oh, hello.
Wow, that's fun.
You can touch the ice in the midline step sequence. You don't see many teams. Actually, that's the first team we've seen do that so far. A cartwheel. I mean, why not? When you have just that much fun, you're like, oh, I want to throw a cartwheel in. I do that all the time. Actually, Brandon Fraser likes to do cartwheels too, just in case anyone wanted to know. Choreo step, hey, shake it, hey, shake it. Oh, finger point.
Lots of finger points.
Yeah, it's just like, what are we pointing at? I'm okay with like 3 in 3 minutes. Maybe 5. Not 35. We have 4 other fingers to work with on one hand. I mean, I wouldn't advise using one of those, but we can use the majority of that. We can use 80% of that hand if we want a finger point. Maybe a little pinky finger point. Hey, what's up? Hey.
Are we having tea now?
Yeah, that's right. Or little Dr. Evil on the mouth. Sharks with freaking lasers. Well, that completes this grouping. We're just doing the last couple minutes of it. So we got a couple questions in here. You've been at Roberta Mel. Thank you for sending us something, Roberta. But you've been an ice dance fan for many years, but for you, it's turning into gymnastics and less graceful. What do you think? Roberta, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but sorry if that offends anybody, but I completely agree. I think that the judges have a huge responsibility, and right now they're currently rewarding that athleticism, which is, I know it's a sport, don't get me wrong, but if we're not careful, I truly think that we're getting a blend of pair skating and ice dance, but pair skaters are getting better at skating. They're doing ice dancer lifts as transitions, and they're starting to emote a lot more. So if we're not careful, we're gonna lose what ice dance is. And I don't know, like I agree with you completely. I think that proper ice dance hold, we don't have compulsories anymore, but needs to be rewarded. Like, I think you see good partnering. I think you see good skating skill. I know it's hard when there's 36 teams, but you gotta reward it if you see it, and not just all like the bells and whistles and smoke and mirrors of tricks.
Absolutely. I am on the same page with you there. I think we've been talking about this a lot the last several practice groups, but just seeing quality dance holds, quality skating, tracking, partnering, all of those fundamentals of ice dance, that the intricacy that makes it different than the other disciplines.
Yep, I agree. But all in all, I think what's so cool is just seeing the different interpretations of all these skaters, and they're really starting to put themselves out there in their own emotions, which I respect so much. I just wish I saw a little bit more value and more rewarding to good skating. We're starting to lose it. We're starting to lose that essence of ice dance, and it's scary. It's scary because we want to keep it around. We don't want to lose it.
We're going to take a quick resurface again in the next 10 minutes, and then when we come back, we'll start with warm-up group number 7.
And it's going to be our last 2 groupings.
Exciting.
How exciting. All right, see you in 10.
We will continue with dance group 7.
It's been a goal of ours since we've started skating together. We knew we wanted to be the best team that we could be, and that meant being world champions, and to have achieved that twice already has been absolutely incredible. So why not go for one more?
from United States of America, Madison Choke and Evan Bates.
Well, we did have a lot going on this summer with the wedding and then getting the gold medal in Paris, but I think, starting the season, we really want to keep in mind that we want to peak at Boston in March 2025, and we're going to start our season at Skate America in October 2024. So that kind of, 6 or 7 month plan has us, I think, right where we want to be at Champs Camp right now. We're really excited about the programs that we made this season. We feel like they're different and they're creative in a different way for us. And just looking forward to showing them at Skate America in Texas.
I think our music selection in the rhythm dance is going to be really fun for the crowd. Kind of keeps you guessing. You won't really know what's next until you hear it. And I think that aspect is really fun. For our free dance, I absolutely love the music. It's classic, but with a twist, and it just feels really good to skate to and dance to and move to. There have been some really memorable moments, especially this summer, and in general, when we go through the season, I think there are points where we have to stop and evaluate and look at what we've done so far, and then we can assess where we want to go next. So I think those reflecting points are really helpful and really necessary. I think we'll definitely maybe take some time to kind of just absorb everything that's happened this summer, from the World Championships in the spring, touring, getting married in June, touring some more, and then going to Paris to get an Olympic gold medal is pretty special. So yeah, a lot to be grateful for and a lot to journal about.
This is just mean. Worcestershire. War. I know it's not Worcester, like Worcester. Worcester. Okay. Gosh. This is just mean. Leicester? Really? Yep. Oh no! Dang it, Leicester. Tingsboro? Oh no. Guys. Bostonians, how do you do this? Gloucester. Gloucester. Dang it. This is so evil. Scituate.
Sort of.
Situate. Gosh, Massachusetts. Tewksbury. Thank you. I got one. Oh my god. Pulaski Way? Pilski Way? Pilski. I'm just gonna guess Pilski Way. I'm like guessing like all these letters are silent. I promise you guys I know how to read. Oh no. Okay, I wanna say like Leominster, but yes? Okay. No, this is not a place. This is not a place here. Lake Chargagago Manchuagago Chambuna Gungamaug. Lake C.
if you're all about Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club.
Is this Sandlot?
Oh, I know that one.
Yay for baseball, home run.
No.
Sandlot? No. Sandlot's with a dog.
Rookie of the Year.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
The Rookie, I think, maybe? Angels in the Outfield? No?
Rookie of the Year.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what I knew. I knew it was Rookie of the Year, but I watched The Rookie a while back, so.
Road to Milan starts right now.
Let's welcome Madison Chalk and Evan Bates.
Well, we are skating to Take 5 by Dave Brubeck, and it's just a really classic American piece, very jazzy, and so I was really inspired by the kind of film noir, Art Deco era, and so I took a lot of inspiration from that. As you can see, Evan's costume has like the shading and the spotlights lighting up a building, and so he has that here and in the back. And then my dress was really inspired by the Empire State Building, very Art Deco with the lines here, and then the coloring is an ode to the Statue of Liberty and how the copper oxidizes. So it's a very just what I was thinking of when I was diving into American culture and history and trying to get that kind of jazz feeling and like a moody, kind of rainy New York night in the 1920s was my inspiration.
I am super, super impressed by my very talented wife, Madison Chalk. I do watch her in her creative process. She'll be just sketching for hours. Sometimes she'll just wake up in the night and have an idea and grab her pencil and paper and just like off she goes. Super talented. She also designed Olivia Smart's new free dance dress. She's also in this competition, came out just amazing. Super proud of her entrepreneurial spirit, and just a very supportive, proud husband.
And I do bounce like all of my ideas off of him. I'll make a bunch of sketches and get his opinion, and he's very helpful and very honest, so I really appreciate that. It helps me kind of focus my ideas sometimes.
No, next.
No, I don't want to wear that color. No.
Session for dance, rhythm dance, warm-up group 7. The following teams are on the ice for a 5-minute warm-up, after which
All right, the ice has been cut. We are back.
in the following order.
Group 7.
Number 1,
Dramatic pause.
Da-da-da.
Ba-da-dun, da-da-dun. Just kidding. It's going to be great. There's some phenomenal skaters out here. Some European medalists, national medalists across the board.
Number 3,
Grand Prix final. Grand Prix final competitors as well.
Yes, I think it's Grand Prix medalists. It's now we are starting to turn up the heat. Very excited for this group. I mean, starting off with the Finnish team, Julie and Mateus, like, talk about beautiful ice dance.
Now, like, that is a team that is not doing that many tricks, but doing ice dance, in my opinion. It's dancey, it's flowy, and what I love the most about it, although it's not very powerful, it is so elegant and graceful. Like they're painting with their blades more than they're just pressing.
So to jump on to what you just said, question before I do this. For beginner ice dance fans, what are some basic differences to look for when distinguishing a team from a great group?
Oh, wow, great. Well, I mean, I think that partnering is something that is so overlooked. Now, it's so hard to see. But I think that, like, when there is little to no push and pull within the team, and it looks like they're always moving in one direction together for the most part, whether you're backwards and forwards, we're playing more around with the idea of always staying connected. I think that being able to skate, dance, and perform and stay in character while doing all these technical things, while not getting too close to the boards or hitting the boards even, I think is another thing. What about you, okay?
I always come back to edge quality for me. Like, I think that's what distinguishes a great team from a great team. Because honestly, in many lower level or some of the lower groups today, you're going to see some really cool tricks that are very expensive. And we see that throughout the boards, for sure, but seeing edge quality, seeing flow of a lot of edge, that flows painting with the blades, like you said earlier, that's something that it becomes better and better as years go on.
Yeah, I completely agree. And for me, it's going to be a hard thing to see, but I'm going to do my best to point it out when I see it. It's a dropping of energy. Now, what I mean by that is, like, the energy can change throughout the performance, and honestly, a good skater can let it change and makes it change, but what I'm actually talking about is stopping and starting it, that energy. Like, even if I have a dance stop, for instance, I keep that energy up, I keep it alive, I keep it moving. I don't want to have and back in, and back in. I want to stay constant, and I think a lot of the time in free dances, you can actually see that better because it's usually a little bit more fluid, but where it's going to show up is when you see people starting to think. If people are thinking about how to do a turn, I can guarantee you that energy is stopped. Follow us along on social media at US Figure Skating, but I really think that just seeing that and that edge quality that Caitlin talks about, like that rise and fall, it's not rise, wait, and then fall. It's that continuous motion. Nothing ever stops.
I always say to the people that I work with on the ice that skating is kind of like surfing in a sense that your knee action, your body movement, it's like a wave. It's never stopping. There might be high points and low points to that, but with that being said, there's never this stop moment. There's always this rise and fall, this gradualness to skating, and so figure skating and surfing are more similar than you think.
That's right. Give me the ocean, not a pond water.
Not a rock being thrown into a pond.
Ain't no lily pads out here.
So on this session, if we haven't already talked about it, we have the Finnish team. We also have the two U.S. teams out here, Caroline and Michael, as well as Christina and Anthony. We have the Lithuanian team of Allison and Saul, who were last year European bronze medalists. And capping it off, we have the Canadian team of Marjorie and Zach.
This is starting to get exciting here because this Finnish team's both programs, but this rhythm dance is, you might say, a little easy, like transitionally or their choreo step, but it is so effective that I don't mind at all. It is just so good.
Like less is more, and this is definitely what I'm talking about with that. Also, just like shout out to one of the best choreographers, Massimo Scali. He did both of their programs. Sick little in between there.
Now, sometimes puzzles can supposed to be a challenge for this team, but not right now. Those were very nice.
I think what works to their advantage so much with this program is you see a lot of teams really trying to perform and push. And I'm not saying push just powerfully across the ice, but they take time to like really embody that nonchalant, that chill kind of swagger within this. Not like a, hey mom, are you watching? Kind of energy. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. Hey. Look at that. This like social dancing, like make it attainable for me to do. I don't want to make it too hard, it's like too complex.
And very authentic to that era, I find.
It's just so clear. You make my job so easy because you're checking all the boxes properly.
Also, from the music standpoint, which I love paying attention to, they had really great musicality, not only using the vocals, but using all of the little layers of instrumentation there.
That's right. You make me see it all. So a team here, very exciting to see them back on the world stage. They did not actually, they had an amazing skate at US Nationals and did not get awarded the Four Continents spot for the US, but did get the home worlds, which I think is actually what they really wanted, because they're, as for that Olympic selection, takes into account, worlds is very much in that mix.
Interesting little fun fact here. Caroline and Michael actually share the same birthday, separated by 8 years. Little birthday twins. Nice ice coverage on those quizzles.
Yeah, and I think for a team like this, what's going to be super important is they are a little bit smaller in stature, but I mean, this grouping is not a very tall grouping, but I think with someone like Michael, he's going to really have to put a lot of emphasis and effort into making sure he doesn't hold his shoulders in his ears. He has a tendency to have his shoulders come up just a little bit, and when you're out here and you want to be pushing into that top 10 grouping and staying in that, you have to show me all of these amazing qualities.
Yes. I always say that you don't want to wear your shoulders as earrings.
That's right. I think this style suits Caroline very well. And this is one of the teams, I mean, a lot of the teams in this grouping have the capability of getting level 3, level 4 footworks, but this is a team that I do believe has a lot of potential because a lot of the time their turns can be so clean, but what really impresses me is the clarity of edge that they create within and out of all of their turns. They're very solid, grounded skaters. And when I say that, it's when you watch the ankle always seems to have the knee over the toe, proper biomechanics built into that skating, and it creates that groundedness feeling that all these skaters are searching for. It's not just a feeling, but you can really just completely shift that mentality and just bend your ankles.
Nice ice coverage on that lift as well.
Very nice. Whee! Fun program for Caroline and Michael.
Music time, 3 minutes, 0 seconds. Skating now are Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko from the United States of America, to be followed by Allison Reed, Gonzalez, and
Now we have another U.S. team here, Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko, taking another less 70s approach and doing more of a Charleston jive.
This is very fun. I think Christina embodies this character so well. Seventh at the last World Championships in Montreal. You can imagine they're at this event wanting to push for that top 6 spot.
Solid twizzles to start off the bat. I would agree. I find that it doesn't carry as much ice flow and coverage of like edge coverage as I would like to see.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind if it was a little slower over the ice, but if they like really got down and dirty in those characters a little bit more. I think that she's trying, and I think he's trying, and I think that they're doing a really admirable effort towards it, but I think that it's just a little bit forced.
Also a very nice skate by this U.S. team, Christina and Anthony.
2 minutes and 56 seconds. Skating now are Allison Reed and Gonzalez and Brulevicus from Lithuania, followed by Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga of Canada.
Up next we have the Lithuanian team, Allison Reed and Saulius Ambrulevicius.
both programs last year, and I think they've had a little bit of a harder time this season with their material, but I think they're finding and working it out and just in time for the World Championships. Now, a program like this, keeping the same song the whole time, there's different variations within it, but it is going to be so important for them to really bring the character and bring that heat and well, they're just like that a little bit more. And not be afraid to go to those places where it's a little scary to be that vulnerable, but what makes it that much better. Oh, a little knee slide finger point.
I love the little touches of leopard print that he's wearing.
Mm-hmm. Saul really gets into this performance, and I think that he really feels it.
And again, pointing out what I had talked about earlier, I like that this team plays to all sides of the arena. They're not just performing to the judges' side.
Yeah, and just a quick reference, what they just did within partnering there, like there's a roll in, roll under, roll out with an intricacy of arms, like that is very hard to do. There's a reason you do not see many teams, if any other teams, really do something like that. Maybe Chalk Baits might do something similar of intricacy within partnering there, but it's very, very hard to do.
And closing out the group, we have Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga from Canada.
Yeah, and talk about like a powerhouse of a team. I mean, like this program is so fun.
They are spitfires in this program.
They are, and like really embodying like that Austin Powers kind of spirit. Somebody else who can be cursed with shoulders being too high up is Zach Laga. I know it's something that he works on quite a bit, but within a jacket, like when a guy wears a jacket, they have to be so careful that it doesn't look higher than they actually are, especially if they decide to put shoulder pads in those things.
One thing I admire about this team a lot is their fearlessness to skate incredibly close together.
Oh my gosh, and Marjo is so good at going where Zach wants to go.
Yes.
Like, he's very good at partnering, don't get me wrong.
Little mistake from her there.
Yeah. And a mistake like that, everybody, can take you from like an 82 to a 79 very quickly. From one little step like that, you'd be like, wait, what? If the rest of the skate was exquisite, that could seriously make a big difference just in the GOE. That's why ice dance is so crazy. Hey.
Little special effects there we got going on.
Absolutely. I wish I saw a little bit more fun feeling from Zach Laga in this performance. I know it's just the warm-up, but it is so, so important to get your energy warmed up for this. See, now he's like opened up, but that whole transition, I just feel like he was really hitting the moves, but not enjoying hitting them.
Embodying Austin Powers.
Exactly, right? Like, you got to be able to go to those crazy places to make this thing happen.
It's got to be groovy, baby.
It's groovy, baby. Speaking of that, it's hilarious that we did a little Dr. Evil bit right at the beginning of this.
approximately 3 minutes remaining in your practice session.
Well, I mean, just so exciting. So many different takes on this social dance theme here. And just like the quality of skating in this group is so good, but I think that you're going to start really seeing scores skyrocket in this group. Like this is where you're going to be looking the difference between teams hitting 78, 79, 80, 81, 80, maybe 82, maybe 82. Could be very wrong. Like I'm not a professional, but those questions are rolling in. Please don't be afraid to send us your questions, by the way, at Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hwaig on X. Yo, Dream Team doing the commentary thing together right now. I mean, we're doing our best to answer them. Do the skaters at lower levels still have to learn and train all the pattern dances since they are no longer required? Well, I mean, at junior, they are still doing the pattern dances, a part of their rhythm dance. This last year, they did 2 patterns of the Paso Doble, switching the male and female role for 1 and 2 patterns, calling them A and B, essentially. The lead or follow. Now, I do think it is like extremely important that you at least know them. And I think that being able to like skate them to an extent is very crucial at this level. Like I said, like it would be amazing. I would love to say, hey, by the way, guys, the last 5 minutes of your group, we're changing the skating order and everyone needs to do 2 patterns of the Killian. And I just think that you would start to see a totally different group of skaters. If we asked all of them to do compulsory dances, I think your skating order would change exponentially. But that's not where the reality we live. I do think that it is very important to learn all those compulsories, though. I know Caitlin and I both loved them, and the partnering in them and the skills you learn from partnering in them. A lot of the transitions that we do in a rhythm dance or a free dance are parts of a compulsory dance. And that finishes up our final group. No, second to final. Second to last group. Sorry, I just totally skipped a group. My bad.
And now is the moment you've been waiting for, the big guns.
That's right. Championship group. Your top 5, your last 5 skaters.
These are the skaters that are going to be vying for the medals this weekend, for the small medals today.
That's right. We have Evgenia and Joffrey from France, Piper and Paul from Canada, Maddie and Evan from the United States, our current world champions, Lila Lewis from Great Britain, and Charlene and Marco skating last from Italy. Now this is about to be like a crazy grouping because it's just everyone's rhythm dance is so different. You have so many different levels of professionalism, of just clarity. Some people are taking such a crazy dance approach. Some people are taking a very innovative dance approach, being the French. You see such a level of, not clarity, but, I mean, yeah, clarity in this group, but professionalism. I mean, from Chalk Bates, they just hold themselves and they're here to compete, absolutely, but you just see the level of their ability when they skate, when their level of professionalism. It is just here. They're here to play. GBR, Lila Lewis, just have such a fun rhythm dance this year. Like some of the best performers in this event. And talk about like professionalism. That team, Lila Lewis, is just they're some of the most professional athletes I know we ever trained with.
Yes, absolutely.
Just their willingness to stay true to their plan, and they're so to themselves, ready to party, ready to dance, ready to groove. I mean, obviously, we have the Italian team out here who just have such an amazing skating quality to them.
And consistency to their skating.
Yes, the consistency of their skating is unbelievable. Rightfully so. I mean, they've been doing this thing for a while. Like this group. Almost all of the teams have gone to the Olympics, if not once, more than twice.
Or 4 times.
Or 4 times. Evan Bates 4 times.
Paul 3 times.
Paul 3 times, yeah. He's went to 2010, 2018, 22, right? Exactly. Evan, 2010, 14, 18, 22, rolling up on 26 this next year. 3 of those with Madison.
Yes.
Lila Lewis going to the 2022 Olympics for the first time. European medalists. It's just crazy. Yevgeny and Joffrey have not been to the Olympics yet, but they are starting to put themselves on this scene to be very, very competitive in this group. They have some very French material.
Yes.
If there's any other way to put it, but I love it. It sticks out. I don't like to say sticks out like a sore thumb because that sounds negative, but it sticks out so much in this group because it's so fun. It is so different. It is so only they could do it.
Very, very innovative.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Piper and Paul, I don't know which costume this one is of the week, but they have quite a few. Must be a lot to travel with.
They need a full wardrobe cart.
Exactly right. We're going to ship them. If you guys have any questions for us, this is our last grouping. This is the last time I'm doing commentary here this week. This is the last time that Caitlin and I are going to be doing this week together too. So shoot them our way if you have any burning questions. We're going to do our best to answer them. It's really hard to answer all these things at the same time while we watch, but we're going to do it.
So we have a question from Nancy. Who decides the choreographer? The skaters, the coaches? Does the choreographer ever approach the skaters? Probably not too often would the choreographer approach the skaters, but I think it's very much a collaborative decision who the choreographer will be for skaters and coaches, between skaters and coaches, I should say, because at the end of the day, every team is different. They're going to have different strengths, different needs, different styles, so finding a choreographer that matches that rhythm and that style of skating is very important, and that's where the collaboration between the coaches, between the choreographer and the skaters all come into play.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that to add to that, like, does the choreographer ever approach a skater? In my professional opinion, they shouldn't. Like, you can have conversations, but I think that to approach a skater and say, I'd love to do a program for you, I don't think is the most professional. I'd love to do programs for all the skaters, but I wouldn't just go up to them and say that. Yeah, and I think the skaters have a huge input in that. And this is the French team skating to Rasputin. This is going to sound so cool in that arena.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to sound dialed. Her hobbies include existential crisis. That's hilarious. If you know Evgenia, that makes sense for her. That's her.
Nice musicality exiting those twizzles.
What I love about this team is particularly Yevgenia's posture when she skates.
For as crazy and as cool as they are, they have something very traditional with their skating posture, like John Luke just mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. And like the clarity of the edge. Now, I mean, again, you can just see automatically this. back of their heads are fun. Like they look like they're having fun. The smile on their faces. She's so good at dancing too. Very fun skate.
Yes, I think like you said, John Luke, a little bit flat in the middle, but the potential for this team is huge. Now we have the team of Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier, seasoned team here, looking to make a splash and vie for that title.
Seasoned.
Seasoned like a steak.
That's right. Barbie-inspired rhythm dance. You know what? This is a team that for me sometimes seems slow, and they are cooking right now.
Yeah, very good ice coverage. Obviously that part came to a stop, but that was an intentional choreographic reason. So far, so good.
Paul is also somebody who is a skater of that more old school look. He has a very, very controlled back. I wish he loosened it up a little bit, especially with this dance style, so I can feel like it's less stiff almost.
More
but
surfer boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's up, dude? You know, my man. I don't know. It's very proper. This surfer is not wearing flip-flops, he's wearing Sperry's.
It's from Vineyard Vine.
You know, exactly. See what I mean? But it's nice. Beautiful change edge there. Doesn't count for anything other than just what I like.
Very nice mohawk as well. Tracking for that rocker.
Very, very unique tracking.
And that's something that I think this team does great is they're always incredibly unique and innovative with their skating.
Counter? I don't know. Piper just serving there. I feel like Piper's performance quality has really gone up over the years, absolutely, in a way that she's really character driven.
Very, very fun.
Very stylistic too, in terms of maybe a little easy, again, like the Finish's team's approach for their choreo step, but it's very clear. And just because it's easy doesn't mean it's bad. It needs to be clear. Give me some good dancing. Now our current world champions, Madison and Evan, going to be defending their title here.
On home ice.
On home ice. Love to get another one. I think for them it's going to be about a matter of staying calm and going and performing this thing together.
Little wall wobble from her there on her second twizzle, but nice recovery.
This program takes you on a journey. There's a lot of music changes, and they've taken out quite a bit as the season's progressed.
The idea of their program, though, was that it would take you on a journey from the 50s to the 60s all the way into the 70s.
What a trip.
It's a true journey. Don't stop believing, journey style.
I love it. Oh, here come the dad jokes. I feel it.
Can't be a commentary session without a little dad joke.
Oh my gosh. So for me, the highlight of this program absolutely is this midline step that they're coming into. And when I tell you, when they get to that dance stop in the middle, if people in this arena aren't blowing up and going crazy, because they go absolutely bonkers. Now, I wish the other 3 minutes were of this energy here in a second. Here we go. Hey, let's go crazy. It's so simple, but so effective for me. Maddie Chalk is the queen of dance stops in a midline step sequence. Last year, the year before, I mean, Evan's amazing too, don't get me wrong, like I love Evan, but she is just so amazing at performing. The queen of performance and using her eyes too, like.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, right?
You can feel like, I feel like every single person in the arena feels like she's looking at them.
Right, like she makes you feel seen. And then it's like, hey, Evan, don't worry, I still got you, hubby. And this PSD, I think, is going to be one of the spots for them that they're going to need to really keep that energy up, because they just showed us such an amazing midline step sequence that if this Bee Gees inspired PST is not amped up, and they got to dance this thing. Come on, baby.
So much.
Professional, exquisite, class of their own, in my opinion, when that thing is skated like it can be. But a team that wants to push, and a team that has beaten them this season on the Grand Prix circuit. Delivering when it counts, they are very good at it. Lila Lewis. In case you're wondering, they are spelling chic right now. It's like the new YMCA. And this is a team that's been scrutinized quite a bit for their skating skill and their partnering work, but I believe they've been working a lot on that, trying to not have that be something that people talk about as much. I mean, the higher you get up in the sport, I think everyone only just likes to point out what you're not doing or what you're not good at. And I think that's solid, right?
Very solid. But you were saying.
Yeah, and I think that this is a team that's like trying to change that narrative. They're trying to show that skating skill ability. Like all through this is getting much better for them. Just a little bit, like now that doesn't give me the automatic response to say, yeah, I'll give you that bracket. I would probably review that as a caller. And as soon as they review it, it's a deep dark hole. Wow, wow. Yo, that was your answer. I love that. But it's true. It's true. You watch anything slow, you're probably going to find something. So don't give them a reason to. Keep that ankle still, my dude. But talking about their skating skill ability out here, I think that they don't seemingly seem like they shouldn't be in this group for me.
No, they really stand their ground in this final group.
Yeah, and this is where they shine as a team. One of the best teams in the world, in my opinion, at a choreo step sequence. This is where they make their money. And this is where the crowd starts to clap. And this is so fun to watch, even from the backside. The front side's even more fun. Lewis is so good at just being in the right pocket at all times and giving Lila the space to perform and dance.
Talk about fantastic lifts.
Yes.
Speed. Full of charisma, this team.
Precision,
very strong.
professionalism, exquisite. I am so excited to see what happens with them later today because I do think that it could be dangerous.
It could be interesting. And the last of the 36, I think it was, 36 teams to skate this morning on practice ice. Charlene Guinard and Marco Fabry.
Maybe that's generous. What this team is so good at doing, though, is making it so clear. It is concise. It is very easy to watch. It's not very danced, in my opinion, but it's very clear. And their clarity of edges. I say the word clear a lot. Look at them just wiping themselves off right now. But like we said, a team of just like such high class and professionalism they are. I'm not sold on this rhythm dance personally, and I think having it go after the teams that just went, I think it does feel flat. Now they're not in costume. They've only done 2 elements, so it's hard to judge that, and they really are great performers. I just think that going after a team like Fear and Gibson, they're going to have to make sure that they bring their special traits to the table, which is going to be their unison and their skating quality, in order to make sure that they're still a force to be reckoned with within this grouping. Now this is more their vibe right here. Just that transition there for me was way better in terms of performance and ability of skating. I like the transition. I'm not sold on the choreo step. I don't feel the most. I know they're trying, and don't get me wrong, I say this with the most amount of kindness and love. I know that they're giving everything they have, and I'm sure it'll still score quite well. Don't get me wrong. I just think that if they want to really make sure that they're pushing to get not just a medal here, but a medal at the Olympics in their own home next year, they need to make sure that their material is just lights out. But they got to start with today first.
Start with today.
That's right. Ain't that the name of the game?
We got 2 more minutes on this practice session. Do we have any more questions before we wrap up these 8 different practice ice sessions.
Send them to us on Twitter, on X, at Jean-Luc Baker, at Caitlin Hawaik, at do whatever you want. Send them our way. We're going to do our best to answer them.
And these teams are wrapping up their final session before hitting the ice today. And very soon from now, a short 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes away, the ice dance event will start at the TD Garden.
Yes, I mean, okay, let's just wrap this thing up. Who are you most excited to watch?
I mean, Chalk Bates.
Chuck Bates. Me too.
Yeah, they're just the most professional, the most down-to-earth kind, and just pure performers. So
And when they're on, they're in my opinion, electric and in a league of their own. To get on and to stay on and to not let the chatter get too loud is going to be really tough. But I do think they have all the tools, the experience, and everything they need to make that happen. Well, thank you so much, Kate. This has been so much fun. I love doing everything with you. Obviously, we skated together for so long. This has been awesome.
Thanks for having me. It was very fun and super excited to see how the rest of the weekend goes.
Yes, absolutely. So don't be afraid to tune in. Next is going to be the practice camp for men's here. But, I don't know, maybe go watch the ice dance. There's some great stuff happening. So please don't be afraid to tune in. I hope we bump into you guys if you guys are here. It's been so much fun doing this week. Thank you, all of the people that have been listening. It's been great. And have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Warm up, group 8. We will now pause